So to do away with the confusion between possessive pronouns and possessive adjectives, let's know a bit more about them. What are possessive pronouns? Possessive pronouns tells us who owns something and where do we use it. That's very important, students. We use it instead of a noun. We don't use it before a noun. We use it instead of a noun. That is why possessive determiners cannot be possessive pronouns, because the position varies. Possessive pronouns comes in place of a noun. It doesn't sit before a noun. So what are possessive pronouns? Look at the examples: mine, his, hers, yours, hers, theirs, and ours. So what is this possessive adjective? Possessive adjectives, earlier I told you, they are also called as determiners because they have the same function. So what is the function of a possessive adjective? It modifies the noun following it in order to show possession. It shows who or what owns it. So possessive adjective sits before a noun and it modifies it. It tells who or what owns it. So that is why all possessive adjectives are also called as determiners. So what are the possessive adjectives that you know? My, your, his, her, their, our, and its. Okay, both have something in common: possessive pronouns, possessive adjectives. So there's a lot of confusion. Let's see with examples, then you will have a clarity. Look at this example. This long bag is his. In this sentence, the word his is a possessive pronoun. Why? What is the function of a pronoun? It comes in place of a noun. So in this bag belongs to somebody, assuming Ram. This long bag is Ram's. Instead of telling Ram's, I am giving a pronoun there, that is his. That is why it's called a possessive pronoun. The same sentence, if you want to use a possessive adjective, you know adjective sits before a noun. So you have to change it a little bit. This is his long bag. So his here acts as a possessive adjective. You cannot call it a pronoun here. Okay, this is his long bag. Same way, look at the second example. This red bat is theirs. So theirs can be Ram and Sham, or Rahul and Thomas. It can be anybody in plural. So instead of telling Rahul and Thomas or Ram and Sham, you are telling theirs. So instead of the noun, you have used the word theirs, and therefore it's a possessive pronoun. The same sentence, you're going to reframe a little bit so that we use a possessive adjective. Look on to the right. This is their red bat. So here, their is an adjective because it comes before the word noun bat. Red is also an adjective. There is also an adjective. Okay. So there is a possessive adjective. Look at the example. That book is mine. That word mine comes in place of your name, isn't it? Instead of telling your name, you're using the word mine, and therefore it is a pronoun. And it tells about possession, belonging. Therefore, it is a possessive pronoun. The same sentence, we'll reframe it a little bit onto the right, if you can see. That is my book. Now, the word my modifies the noun book. It tells more about the noun book. Meaning, what information is it giving? It is giving you about the details of the ownership of that book, isn't it? My book. When you say, you're telling that it belongs to you, isn't it? So, my is a possessive adjective or a possessive determiner. So, you now understood the difference between possessive pronouns and possessive adjectives. So, look at the last sentence where I have given you a possessive adjective and a possessive pronoun. This is your book and this is mine. Here the word your is a possessive adjective because it sits before the noun book and tells about the possession. And the word mine tells about the possession, but it comes in place instead of a noun, isn't it? In place of the noun, and therefore it is a possessive pronoun. So now it should be clear, isn't it, children? There are a few points that you have to remember while using the possessive determiner its. Do not confuse a possessive determiner with an identical sounding contraction. This is a very common error that we can see among students. So pay attention and learn it, practice it, and master it. The contraction IT'(S) is not a possessive. IT'(S) is a contraction of it is or it has. So instead of using it is or it has, you use IT'(is). While reading it, while pronouncing it, you say it's. Okay. So it sounds like the possessive determiner ITS without the apostrophe. So there is a confusion. So let's clear that now. Look at the example. A country can be judged by the quality of IT'(S), its proverbs. Second, again, the example. A country can be judged by the quality of ITS without the apostrophe proverbs. So a country can be judged by the quality of its proverbs. So it's here, if it has to act as a possessive determiner, then you have to use it without apostrophe. If you use it with apostrophe, what is the meaning? It's a contraction for it is or it has, and that is wrong there. Okay. Look at few more examples. It's amazing. So the sound when you hear, you feel it's ITS, but you need to add an apostrophe there because the meaning, when you expand the sentence, you write it as it is amazing. Similarly, it's got to be a joke. So here apostrophe S, when you expand, it means it has got to be a joke. So this is not the possessive determiner. Now, if it has got to be a possessive determiner, then it should be ITS without apostrophe. Like in the example, I can see its eyes. So we are talking about some animal or some other thing we are referring to. So the eyes belongs to maybe a dog or a cat or whatever it is. So IT without apostrophe is the possessive determiner. When we discussed about the position of the possessive determiner, we learned that it always sits before the noun, isn't it, students? Not necessarily. It can have an adjective in between sometimes. Okay, look at the examples. You are my friend. Here, my is a possessive determiner. Why? It tells you about the ownership or the belonging or the possession of the noun there, friend. And where is it sitting? Before the noun friend. Good. That's a possessive determiner. The same thing can be written as you are my real friend. Real is an adjective. So real tells more about the friend and therefore it's an adjective. So my here also refers to a possessive determiner. Also a possessive adjective. His leg was broken in 2 pieces. His leg. His is a possessive determiner. Leg is a noun. It is modifying, isn't it? So the same sentence can be rewritten as his left leg was broken in 2 places. You're giving more details. That is it. But here also his acts as a possessive determiner or a possessive adjective. Look at the last example. The dog is wagging its tail. The dog is wagging its long tail. Long is an adjective that is coming in between its, the possessive determiner, and the noun tail. Okay, so be careful, students. In the last example, you can see that it's doesn't carry an apostrophe there. Okay, so that is possessive determiner, and the noun in between you can see an adjective. So this is also possible. So what did we learn today, students? What are possessive determiners? They are words that sit before a noun and tells you about the ownership of the noun, the belonging, okay, the possession of the noun. So I've given you 3 examples here. So out of these 3, which sentence has got the possessive determiner? Let's see. Sam gave me your book. Sam gave me a book. Sam gave me this book. So there are, all the sentences has got a determiner, but which one has the possessive determiner? Sam gave me your book. So here your tells about the details, ownership details of the noun book, meaning this book is yours. So it tells the ownership details. There it is telling more about the possession. That's why your is a possessive determiner. Look at the next example. Sam gave me a book. A. Did you learn about articles in the previous session? Yes. So a is an article. The next example, this book. You would have learnt about demonstratives, isn't it? So it's a demonstrative determiner. So your book, your, a, and this all are different types of determiners. They tell us about different things about the noun book. Your book, there the word your tells about the possession, and therefore that is a possessive determiner. Thank you, students. Meet you in the next session.